ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालयै कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुवरं श्रीरूपानुग्रहं व्रजरसरसिकं च नारायणं तं प्रपन्नं श्रीगुरुचरणं वन्दे रमणपृष्ठाय भूतले रूपानुगभक्तिदं च कृपामूर्तिः नारायणम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय आचार्य सिंहरूपिणे श्रीमद्भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव नामिने अतिमर्त चरित्राय शशिदानंद पालिने जीवदुःखे सरताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने गौरश्रय विग्रहाय कृष्णनामैकचारिणे रूपानुमोदनाय विनोदिति रूपिणे उपादंतरंगाय सर्वसद्गुरुशालिने वर्तमानाय सर्वशालिने। तो सबसे पहले मैं स्मृति गुरुपाद पद्मा Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev, Shriman Bhaktivedanta Shri Vam Goswami Maharaj Gurudev के अभय चरण कमलों में संगत अनुरोध प्रणाम निवेदन करता हूँ। तत्पश्चात श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज जो हमारे परम गुरु जी है उनके अभय चरण कमलों में अपना संग कोटि दंडोत प्रणाम विज्ञापन करता हूँ। पश्चात हमारे वैष्णव वैष्णवी सज्जन सज्जनी मंडली और सभी उपस्थित वैष्णव में अपना यथा योग्य दंडवत प्रणाम समर्पित करता हूँ। तो आज इस विशेष पावन तिथि पे इसी तिथि के आश्रय लेते हुए हमारे परम गुरु जी श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज इस जगत में अभिभूत हुए, आविर्भाव हुआ विशेष रूप से। जैसे हम सुनते हैं कि यदि परम गुरु जी की गुणगान करना है तो किसके संबंध के साथ? प्रभुपाद के संबंध के साथ। जैसे यदि हम कृष्ण की गुणगान करेंगे तो यदि हम कृष्ण की अकेले गुणगान करेंगे तो अधूरा रह जाएगा। कृष्ण की राधा रानी के साथ करना है, ब्रजवासियों के साथ, ब्रजगोपियों के साथ। इसी तरह परम गुरु जी गुणगान करते समय उनका जो संबंध था प्रभुपाद के साथ, उनकी प्रभुपाद के प्रति जो सेव्य भाव था, जो सेवा की भावनाएं थी, प्रभुपाद के प्रति जो प्रगाढ़ गुरु निष्ठा, उसका यदि हम विशेष रूप से अवलोकन करें तो फिर हम उनकी जो वैशिष्ट्य है उसको हम थोड़ा जान सकेंगे। परम गुरुदेव श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज పుట్టినరోజు అందుకే వైష్ణవ ఆశీర్వాదం తీసుకొని సిరిపై ఆరంభించే परम गुरुदेव గురించి కొంచెం మాడేకి కొంచెం ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాం. So today is, as we heard, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj's appearance day. So whenever we speak about Srila Param Gurudev, Gurudev says you especially glorify him in relation to Srila Prabhupada and what Srila Prabhupada, how he served in Prabhupada's mission, how by Prabhupada's mercy, Param Gurudev's mercy, to this day, these waves of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy are being felt, are touching every corner of this universe by their grace, by the grace of our Guru. So we hear that Prabhupada, he was given this order by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, preach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission everywhere. Because before then, before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, most of the Vaishnavas were mostly Bhajananandis. So there was a need of a Kostyanandi. There was need of a very powerful Vaishnava who preached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message everywhere. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he himself, we see how he preached. Even before this Namahatta program was established, he established this Prabhu with Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Like in Amla Joda, in that place, near Vardhaman, there Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he was visiting that place, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur was also there. So there, that was the first time this Prabhu Ashram was established. So Prabhu Ashram means that place where one can surrender himself. So in this Prabhu Ashram, there all the Vaishnavas, they would gather every Ekadashi and they follow all the limbs of devotion. And they speak Harikatha to each other, engage in Hari Kirtan in this way. And then from there the seeds were sown. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he went everywhere, preaching all over Bengal, establishing these Namahatta programs, this marketplace of the holy name, where he would inspire everyone to chant the holy names, to speak Harikatha to each other. He would go on, sometimes Bhaktivinoda Thakur would go walking from one village to another, sometimes he'd go on a cycle from one village to another, sometimes he'd go on a horse from one village to another. Anyhow, he would use any conveniences he had at his disposal, he would use that to preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then as we hear that gradually he preached the message of Mahaprabhu everywhere, not only in Bengal, in Odisha also, in Bhadrak, Jagannath Puri, in this Rimuna, Balasu, and in Katak, and all these different places, Kendrapur, Kendrapada. And then he came to Bengal, and then he started preaching there also. So therefore we see that in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Kutir, in Swarnanda Sukhoda Kunj, if you look closely, there is a railway line which comes all the way to his house. This railway line coming from Krishna Nagar, it comes all the way to his house. Because the British government officials, they saw that although he has retired from his official administrative duties, still we need his help in many matters. So therefore they come on this railway line all the way to meet him, then seek his advice, his counsel. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as he was preparing himself to go deeper into bhajan, he desired that Prabhupada preach this mission even more far and wide. So therefore, he told Prabhupada that now you must stay in Mayapur and now you must begin this preaching mission. He brought this land where Chaitanya Math is presently situated, and he established the deities of Mahaprabhu, Vishnu Priya, Lakshmi Priya, Panchatattva, Radha Madhav. And then he told Prabhupada, you stay here and you do bhajan. And this way we know that Prabhupada, how he was performing the Shatakoti Nama Yajna, chanting the holy name 100 crore times for 10 years. And then every day, eating very less, practically nothing. In this way. And then we hear that Panchatattva themselves came and gave darshan to him. And they said that you must preach now. And he said, I have no help, who will help me? So then they said, don't worry, gradually, one by one, all our associates will come to help you. So then we know that gradually all his associates started coming one by one. The first disciple ever of Prabhupada, he was Rohini Kumar Ghosh. He was this devotee who had a dream, where he saw that this Grihastha couple he was living with, actually that person he was calling himself a sannyasi, but he was a daru sannyasi. Means he was a sannyasi who was associating with women also. So this way in that dream he saw that that man, he transformed into a tiger, and his wife transformed into a tigress. They were about to eat him. And then he saw one Dandadari sannyasi come and chase these both animals away. So this way he went looking everywhere for his spiritual master. And then finally he came across Prabhupada and he met him there. So he was the first initiated disciple of Prabhupada. But then later he left. He became a householder and he left. But Prabhupada would fondly remember that, oh, he was my first one. I have some special love for him. So in this way, gradually, then Vaishnavananda Prabhu, Paramananda Prabhu, and then Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj was already a disciple of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then Srila Narahari Sevavika Thakur, and then Srila Param Gurudev. They all came. So then we know that Param Gurudev came in 1915, along with Saroj Vasini Devi Dasi and Priyatama Dasi. And then we hear that that time he had darshan of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada immediately sent him to meet Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Then he went to meet Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He blessed him, saying that, don't worry, whatever obstacles you have in your life, I'll take everything away. And he placed his two lotus feet on Param Gurudev's head. Therefore, after many, many years, Param Gurudev would recall this incident and he would be weeping, saying, in my life I came across so many obstacles. Param Gurudev was sent to jail, actually. Now, we see that after Prabhupada's disappearance, along with 40 other god brothers, he was sent to prison. And then still, he overcame all those obstacles. Then we hear how even when he was preaching in all these different places of India, so many people were attacking him. But still anyhow, he tolerated them. Because the Baddha Jiva is very stubborn by nature. So somehow they should be forgiven. Or else they will never advance in Bhakti. So then we hear that even when he was in Assam, Param Gurudev, when he was there, the followers of Ankardev wanted to cause some physical harm. But then anyhow, Param Gurudev, he said, you see all these brahmacharis and sannyasis whom I have, they are also very young. So if you want them to answer in the same coin, they will also do so. But this is not proper etiquette. So then there is their questions, all sorts of questions, saying that how can you consider Mahaprabhu to be Bhagavan? How can you say this, that? And then Param Gurudev, he had all his disciples quote these verses, proving that Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan himself. Saying there is no 13 cantos, there are only 12 cantos. So this is why he preached everywhere. And then we see that his contribution to the Gaudiya mission was especially seen after Prabhupada's disappearance. Because during Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada, he established the printing of these transcendental magazines. And he started the Navadvip Dham Parikrama. So Prabhupada, he started this Gaudiya, the Bengali fortnightly, this magazine that was published every fortnight. And then he started this Bhagavat in Hindi, published monthly. And then this Harmonist, published in English monthly. And then this Kirtaniya, published in Assamese. And this Paramarthi, published in Odia. And all the other languages also. And this way, Dainik Nadiya Prakash, that was published every day. So this way he started this Brihat Mridanga. He said the beating of the Mridanga can only be heard until a particular area. But the beating of this Brihat Mridanga can be heard all around the world. So therefore, he what did he do? He restarted these magazines. And so he started preaching Mahaprabhu's message everywhere. And we see that so many people joined his mission by that. In fact, Prabhupada, he had one disciple from Kerala also. Once he was giving darshan to some government officials, he said, you see this brahmachari? He pointed to one brahmachari. His name is Gaur Gunananda, he said. He said, Gaur Gunananda is from Kerala, he said. Anyhow, he got one of our magazines, which went all the way to Kerala. And then he read one of these magazines in Kerala. And then from there, he came all the way to Mayapur. He took initiation from me. Now he's serving here, he said. So he had brahmacharis even all the way until the southernmost point of India, that is Kerala. So in this way, this is how his preaching continued. And he started this Navadvip Dham Parikrama again, where he would visit all these 9 islands of Navadvip Dham and speak all the pastimes related to these Leela. So in this way, he also started this Navadvip Dham Pracharani Sabha. So in this Navadvip Dham Pracharani Sabha, he would give out many letters of appreciation to his disciples. And in those very letters of appreciation, he would actually indicate the Siddha Swarup of every disciple. In those letters, Gaur Ashirvad Patrika, there he would mention the one particular title which was later adopted by the disciples when they took sannyas. Like this name, he gave this name Rag Kumud to Sant Maharaj, and then Sant Maharaj became Bhakti Kumud Sant Maharaj. Then he gave this title Aprakrit Prabhu to Saranga Goswami Maharaj, Aprakrit Bhakti Saranga. Then he became Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. Then he gave this title Bhakti Kamal to Nartamananda Brahmachari. He became Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj. In this way, he gave this title Kusum, Bhakti Kusum to Krishna Karunya Brahmachari. He became Bhakti Kusum Shraman Maharaj. In this way, he gave all these titles in this Navadvip Dham Pracharani Sabha, and then all the disciples, they accordingly received sannyas. And he said even their Siddha Swarup was actually hidden there in those certificates in a very secret way. So in this way, this is how he preached all over India and then of course all over the world. But then we hear that after Prabhupada disappeared, this preaching stopped. Then we see how the speciality of Srila Param Gurudev it just exploded after that. Param Gurudev, he took sannyas in 1941, he established his Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and then he restarted. First thing he did was he restarted this Navadvip Dham Parikrama. And then he even took so many loans from other people, because people were very poor then. And then so many god brothers had left. So he went to their houses again and again, and then he called them back, he requested them, please come back, you stay here. And then he even paid for their tickets. And then even all those people who were very poor, who could not afford anything, he himself took a loan and he sponsored them. He said, don't worry, you don't have to pay anything. So he started this Navadvip Dham Parikrama again. And then what did he do next? He started this publication again of these magazines. He said this should be started again. So then, 1948, he started this Gaudiya Patrika again. So this Gaudiya Patrika, the first article he ever wrote in this Gaudiya Patrika was called Viraha Mangalya. He said in this article that this separation I'm feeling from my spiritual master and from Narari Seva Vigraha Prabhu, it cannot be expressed. But then anyhow, these words are the outpourings of my grief. My grief is being poured into this. It's being poured onto this paper in this way. Because he wrote that Viraha Mangalya as a Pushpanjali to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Narari Seva Vigraha Prabhu. That was the first article he ever wrote in 1948. And then this way that started. And then even Swami Maharaj, he was already publishing his Bhakti magazine by then. So he was also made an editor of this Gaudiya Patrika. Therefore all these old editions you can see Swami Maharaj's name there. And even this Bhagavad Patrika was started in 1956 by Param Gurudev himself. And then in the first article itself of Bhagavad Patrika, he wrote, actually Sanskrit was the language in India before. But now anyhow India has adopted Hindi as its national language. So now we cannot do anything. So according to time, place, circumstance, we have to preach Mahaprabhu's message. So then therefore since India has accepted Hindi, he said this Patrika will be published in Hindi. And Swami Maharaj again, he was made editor also of that magazine. So in this way, Param Gurudev, he restarted the publication of all these magazines. He restarted this Navadvip Dham Parikrama, Vrajanath Parikrama, Kshetramangal Parikrama. And then he restarted everything that had previously stopped. And in this way he started again giving saffron cloth, which had previously stopped for some time. And then again, sannyas was being given to everyone. Again this process started. And in this way, when Param Gurudev would go preaching, he would be accompanied by nearly like 40 brahmacharis and like 20 sannyasis. As Gurudev himself said, that when I'd go preaching with my Guru Maharaj, we were like one big saffron group, he said. And this way when people would see us, automatically preaching would take place. Thinking, who are these people? Automatically, no need to even speak a single word of Harikatha, no need to do Kirtan, nothing. Just by seeing us walk down the street, they would see us and they'd have so much appreciation for what we were doing, this service to society. So in this way, Param Gurudev, he served Prabhupada by body, mind, words. And the most important aspect of his service was how he preached to how he gathered the grand disciples of Prabhupada. Because now, gradually, this new generation was coming up. So Param Gurudev, what did he do? He started sending his preachers everywhere, saying now we have to collect these gems who are waiting to be found. So then, he sent Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj first to Vardhaman. And as you know, when Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj went to Vardhaman, the first person he ever collected was Sri Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj. Because Trivikram Maharaj actually senior to Gurudev by 3 years. And then he sent Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj to Bihar. And then we know that in Bihar, Srila Gurudev, he was collected there. And then this way this preaching began everywhere. And in this way we see that Param Gurudev's godbrothers also, they all started staying with him. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Bhakti Alok, Paramahamsa Maharaj, and even Bhakti Sarup Parvat Maharaj, and Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj, Bhakti Kushal Narsingha Maharaj, Narari Seva Vigraha Prabhu, they all started staying with him there in Navadvip. Because Param Gurudev said, this Navadvip is a place which was most unfavorable to Prabhupada's mission. Because all the people here, the Jati Goshais, the Smartha Brahmins, they were all so unfavorable to him. Just because they were losing all their pranami. Because before, Mahaprabhu's birthplace was in Navadvip, and now Mahaprabhu's birthplace was established in Mayapur. So therefore they were losing all their money, all their pranami, all their pratishtha, everything. So it became so against Prabhupada. So therefore Param Gurudev said, if there is one place we should start our preaching, it should be here. He said. In this way, we can preach Prabhupada's mission in that place which is most unfavorable to him. Therefore we see how merciful Prabhupada was in one way. If you see, Jagai and Madai, Nityananda Prabhu, he delivered Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai tried beating Nityananda Prabhu with an earthen pot. And then anyhow Nityananda forgave him. But we see when Prabhupada was there in Paramatala, there were not just one or two Jagai Madais. There were like hundreds of Jagai Madais who were surrounded him from all sides. And hundreds of Jagai Madais, they were throwing all these glasses of hot water, all these bad things. Anyhow, they were trying to cause harm. But then we see eventually, even all those hundreds of Jagai and Madais, they were delivered by Prabhupada. How? Through Param Gurudev. Prabhupada, in his mind, he had resolved that even these Jagai and Madais, they should be delivered. So therefore, he inspired in the heart of Srila Param Gurudev that Vinod will establish a mutt here. And therefore, he had Param Gurudev established Devananda Gaudiya Mutt right there. And especially he named the temple Devananda Gaudiya Mutt. Why? Because this was the place where Devananda Pandit was forgiven. This place is called Aparad Banjan Pat, where all of one's offenses they are forgiven. So in this way he said all these aparadhis here in Kulia, in this Koladweep, caused so many offenses to Prabhupada, they will also be forgiven here. So therefore he opened this Devananda Gaudiya Mutt here. And then when preaching everywhere, all over Navadweep. And this way we see all those people who were previously so unfavorable to Prabhupada, they all became so favorable. In fact, all those who had opposed him so much, when Param Gurudev would organize these sabhas, during the appearance and disappearance of Prabhupada, they would all come. All these scholars who were so against Prabhupada, they would all come. And they would even be weeping also, saying we opposed him so much. And now we're realizing that we did such great disservice to him. But then anyhow, through his disciples, we're appreciating what he came to give to this world. They said, all these people, all their names are also mentioned in all these magazines. So therefore, Param Gurudev, in this way, he brought life again to Prabhupada's mission. In fact, Prabhupada himself appeared to him in a dream and he told him to take sannyas 3 times. First time Param Gurudev, he was about to give sannyas to Param Gurudev. Then Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, he said, who will look after the temple then? Who will manage? Because you are always going preaching, and who will look after the Mayapur temple here? In this way, again, the second time, there was another disciple, Bhagavad Ratna Prabhu. He again stopped. The third time again. Then, anyhow, Param Gurudev, he was, like Prabhupada's mercy, he accepted his renounced order of life. And this is how he preached everywhere. And lastly, we see that how he preached. It is said that when Prabhupada started his preaching, even the Muslims would taunt Prabhupada. They would say he's collecting all these young people from society. And what is he doing? All these young people, they have bald heads. No, they have very shiny bald heads. Prabhupada is taking jackfruits and he's breaking it on their heads. He would say. They would say, the Muslims would tease Prabhupada this way. They would taunt him, saying he's breaking all these jackfruits on their heads, and this way he's making them do all these services. So then Param Gurudev, the first thing he did was he changed the minds of these Muslims. And he re-established the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. And then he reclaimed the Samadhi of Lord Keshava Das Babaji Maharaj, reclaimed the Samadhi of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, reclaimed so many things for Prabhupada. Therefore, to this day, his glories are being sung far and wide by everyone. And this is how Guru Nishtha is. No, who would have known who Param Gurudev was if it wasn't for his disciples? Like Srila Bhaman Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Trikram Goswami Maharaj. So therefore, on this most auspicious tithi, when Srila Param Gurudev appeared to this world, descended in this world, we can only pray that that purity, that dedication in Guru Seva, that Guru Nishtha can also, at least a drop of that can also manifest in our hearts. And regardless of how fallen we are, how many anarthas we have, still one day we can hope to be cleansed. And then hope to make our lives successful. So this should be our prayer at His lotus feet, which bestow fearlessness. Ancha kalpatarubhascha kripasan prevacha patitanam padanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Namo
Vishnu Padaya Sri Rupa Prasthaya Bhutale Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prasthaya Bhutale Sri Srimad Bhakti Prakyana Keshava Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kathamayam Dadati Swapadamikam Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Today is very beautiful day. Every day becomes more beautiful when we are with family members who have real affection for us. So I offer my humble Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, and onto the lotus feet of our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and onto the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, all associates of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. I offer my humble Dandavat pranams and pray for their causeless mercy. All the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, under guidance and loving affection of Sri Premananda Prabhuji, I offer my humble Dandavat pranams to all of you. Wow, today what kind of memories are coming. On this day, another opportunity. Every day is opportunity to express our gratitude. If no gratitude coming, then bhakti far away. We see in the character of great personalities that from young age they have these beautiful qualities, affection and gratitude. Srila Bhakti Pragyat Keshava Maharaj, from his young age, it was shown what great character this personality embodies. And coming in contact with Vaishnavas, then these qualities they take on that beautiful dimension which is not from this world. They are destined. They are not Badajis, but they show as if they go through the same sequence that we also experience, being conditioned soul, coming and receiving the merciful association of those who have real affection for us. So Srila Bhakti Pragyat Keshava Maharaj, you all remember the beautiful incident, how his mother was very worried why he is not coming back. She was ready to give him good lesson. If he came late in the evening and then almost night came. Then finally her son came back and she was very worried. What happened? Why are you coming back so late? I should give you a good lesson because you should not be by yourself anywhere in the dark of night. Then Padma said, may I say something? What is the reason? Then he shared with his mother that I was hoping some old
big lady with leprosy to provide medicine for her. Every day, some small money you are giving me for buying anything. If young children, always they are ready to eat. Even they take tiffin to school. I remember when I was going to school, I would finish my tiffin on the way to school already. Then I think Abhiram, you also. Yeah. Then coming to school at midday, what to eat, what to. So if some pocket money is there, you can buy some snack or anything. So Parangurudeva said, we collect some money, we put it together and we help poor people. So mother started to cry. What a beautiful quality this boy has. So that quality magnifies beyond any worldly calculation after receiving Brahmanda Brahmaji Karunya Bhagavanji, Guru Krishna, Bhakti, the inspiration to engage only in the seva of Sri Satchidananda Gaura Hari. That's magnificent embodiment of pure love and affection. We are all lucky that we are being exposed to the Kripa mercy of Sri Satchidananda Gaura Hari, Prabhu, all their associates. Really, without their mercy, which is manifested in their affection, their very kind affection. If there is no anyone who is tolerant with us, who is compassionate with us, who is affectionate to us, then where we will go? Who will give us affection? You see, after great personalities who are the embodiment of motherly love, like Guruji telling, I have more than 1,000 mothers, 1,000 fathers. Why? Because in this world no one can give spiritual love and affection. But these great personalities are no longer physically present, then many become bereft and hopeless. And they think, again I should go to my family, they have affection for me, they call me whenever I need some support, and I need them to keep in touch with me. Is this true or not? Yeah. I remember one time we were organizing in 1980s Padayatra in Europe for the first time with oxen. We were supposed to go with ox cart, with books and prasadam and village to village walking with the bulls pulling the carts and Thakurji, Gauri-Nityananda in the carts, and lots of prasadam and another tractor with luggages. So by the time we were ready to start in 1989, then 25 devotees were ready to go with us, walking all through Holland. It came from Ireland. We started in Ireland, and still I think it is going on Padayatra. So before we left, we asked all the devotees, please write down who we should contact if anything happens to you. So all wrote down in the paper. All are writing down, please contact my mother or my father. When anything happens to me. So what is here? Evidence that who is giving me the most affection? Who will, under any condition, look after me? That is where we feel naturally attracted to. So coming in, real association, Adosh, Shraddha, Tata, Sadhu Sangha, in real Sadhu Sangha, then we will realize only Gurudev can protect me. Nobody else. No, any worldly affection can protect me. Only Sri Guru. And then if we are lucky, and we are blessed by sufficient contact with Mahaprasada and nice devotees, then especially when pure Vaishnavas, who have unconditional love and affection for us, then we will realize, now I can forget every other relationship. This relationship is one-pointed. Yasya Deva Para Bhakti. It is my only shelter. Why? Because I fully feel the presence of their love and affection. So see Param Gurudev is the embodiment coming in the authentic line of Bhagavad Parampara, of those who are containers of that pure love and affection. He manifested the beautiful adventures or leelas in this world, and we have heard how beautiful is his relationship with his own children, his disciples. Even Srila Gurudev said at some point, his affection for his children became so much more prominent because child always is in need of nourishment and affection. It's true. Then other family members, they think, no, he has no more time for me. So even brothers, at some point, they were not able to stay with Param Gurudev. And then with the help of senior Vaishnavas, other brothers, they all decided to start their own family. Because sannyasi means starting their own family. Did you know that? Prabhupada, what's his name? When he was sannyasi, when Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada received sannyas from Srila Bhakti Keshava Maharaj, then Srila Bhakti Keshava Maharaj said, now you start your own family. Yes? And Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada said, when I was householder, I had only, I think, 2 or 3 children. 2 or 4. But now I have so many children. Because they have capacity to give nourishment. Those who are sannyasi, they have that power. They have received special, what is it? Elixir, special inspiration. They can create. Even if they don't have that, they still, naturally, we see in this world, anyone who has many followers and can nourish them. But what kind of nourishment can we give? Unless and until we have received ourselves the qualification to digest that transcendental Bhakti Rasa. Then we can give something else, but not that. So it is very rare, these great personalities. But they are there. We should not have any doubt. These great personalities are there. And Srila Bhakti Keshava Maharaj is one of the jewels of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. How he gave his life for the mission of his Guru Maharaj, unprecedented. Ready to give up his life, taking the cloth. We heard the pastime of Param Gurudev receiving sannyas, but white cloth or sanya, he already was in that his heart was fully, and we saw even this is one of the qualities of Krishna himself, but it is manifested in that beautiful representative of Sri Krishna. Sakshadhari Dena Samastakati. The Bhakta Vatsal is one of the qualities of Sri Krishna, that without that we have not much interest in Krishna, if he has no affection for his devotees. So Krishna's Bhakta Vatsal, Gurudev, is Shishya Vatsal. How much? And Krishna being controlled by the love and affection of the Ashraya, or the devotees. That quality is also there in Sri Guru. He becomes conquered by the love and affection of his disciples, of his children. So when Srila Bhakti Keshava Maharaj told his Guru Maharaj, please, you give me your sannyas cloth. Go back to Mayapur, take my white cloth, and I will stay here. When all the Yati Goswamis and whoever else was antagonistic, seeing the great procession of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada coming with so many mardangas and cartels and so many followers in Sinagri Ram Paramatala. And riding on elephants, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can you imagine? Even now, we cannot arrange for elephant. Only in Delhi, when there is any marriage party, they bring elephant or anything. But can you imagine if now we go with elephants anywhere in Navadvip or in Vrajanath and put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Very beautiful. So they were so antagonistic then, they wanted to kill Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. And Srila Param Gurudev, he told, please give me your sannyas cloth. So by that time, his own sannyas days was given to the Bhakti Siddhanta. So that time already, he could see no difference. His resemblance also of Srila Param Gurudev and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was such that hardly anyone could see the difference. So this ability to conquer the heart of Sri Guru, and this quality to give that spiritual love and affection, these are so much essential in distributing and engaging in the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we pray today that this mercy should come and that Nityananda Prabhu and Vaishnavas, they help me to make my heart proper container, proper patra. If no good container, so mercy will come, but nothing can stay inside. One time a disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he came to, we were going in morning walk with Srila Gurudev, and then he asked Gurudev, I have read in many scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam and especially Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that if anyone who is Mahabhagavat, he puts his hand on the head of the Shishya, and then everything becomes manifest in the heart of the disciple. Then Gurudev said, very good, you are correct, that is correct. So he said, can you do that for me? He said, Gurudev said, I'm doing that constantly. I'm giving so much, but problem is loopholes. Yeah, what is loopholes? Loopholes in English. Now you have so many holes in your container. This is our problem. So first we need to fix the holes. And it can only be fixed when I open my heart for that love and affection which is coming from these great personalities. Why we have all these pictures here? Because they are all reminding us how much affection is there. Any picture of Radha Kunda? What is there? The love and affection of Radha and Krishna. And the essence of that is, when Radha and Krishna's love and affection meet, what is in the middle? Giri Maharaj. Yeah, when they have that prem towards each other, when both prem meet, what happens in the middle? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Hiranana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Manifest. So that is the mystical, esoteric, transcendental world where we are now invited to participate in. Sri Param Gurudev is one of the most qualified and merciful and affectionate messengers and friends and grandfather, great-grandfather, everything. We cannot imagine. Then Sri Gurudev telling about his own Gurudev. He said, when I was present with my Gurudev, he said the three of us, Srila Bhaktivedanta Pradika, Srila Bhaktivedanta Bhavan and myself, we were so much engaged in service. Many times accompanying our Gurudev and rendering so many services. But he said after the departure, when Gurudev was no longer physically present, I received more from him than during his presence. So we should not think that, oh, I cannot receive anything. Because we are very needy. We have to cry also. If we don't cry for mercy, cry for nourishment, still we will get. But what type of nourishment we want? We want not only to enjoy and relish the activities of bhakti, we want to serve. We want to have the proper honor for the opportunity to engage in the activities He wanted to feel the gratitude that I am so fortunate to have been invited, arranged by these great personalities. What is their mercy? We could see that in their shishas, in their followers. Srila Bhakti Keshava left not only our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti, but at the same time, he gave us Srila Bhakti Swami Prabhupada. At the time of Srila Bhakti Keshava Maharaj's departure, Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj received the news. At that time he was in Seattle and just starting. What? He was with only few followers, but his vision was extraordinary. Why? Because he knew the power, the potency of what he had received. Through Param Gurudev, what he has received, the qualification, the inspiration to now distribute the Gaura Prem, Radha Prem, Krishna Prem, Vraja Prem, everywhere in the world. And he started right away. Srila Bhakti Swami Prabhupada didn't start with he saw the urgency is there. Right from the early days of manifesting the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as it is in Western countries, Swamiji said that I'm inviting all of you to join the Rasa Lila of Radha and Krishna in Vraj. He did not hide anything. After some time, so many books came out and so many followers came. But always it was his heart's desire to give the wealth of these granthas. And he mentioned we must read all these granthas. If he would have stayed, and he actually, these personalities don't disappear. It seems as for our vision, they're no longer present, but their mood and their beautiful blessings are always present. So Srila Bhakti Swami Prabhupada dictated a beautiful letter. And he mentioned that now I want that in all my main centers of this international society, the picture of Sri Bhakti Keshava should be present. And always, on this day, we should hear the glories of that great personality. So this is our good fortune that we are in such an environment where we can not only, when we enter any satsang or any association of devotees, when we see that this is not just small, but it is the international, universal, transcendental, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And we have arrived now in that place where we can receive what I need, love and affection, and inspiration, and nourishment and opportunity to render service. So today, on the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Keshava Goswami Maharaj, I pray that His mercy should always be clearly manifest to me in my heart and to all of us. His affection should penetrate all the hearts of the living entities, that they all become awake to the real happiness. They can all join in the transcendental festival of Bhakti Rasa. One thing in the Devananda Gaudiya, in Adavadidam, it is actually the Rasa study of Radha and Krishna in Sri Govardhan. Gurudev mentioned, although the Yoga Pit is not in Mayapur, but really here, it's no different. In Radha also Yoga Pit, in Vrindavan, there are so many places where the wealth of the transcendental love of Satchidananda Gaurahari is flooding and distributing the whole universe. So Srila Param Gurudev ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada ki jai, Anand Koti Vaishnava Vini ki jai, Itai Gaur Premanand Hari Hari Om.
Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, our Akramaya Swaminanda pronouns unto the lotus feet of our most worshipful Srila Gurudev, Nitya-lila Pradishta Om Vishnu Pad, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudev, Sri Bhakti Prajnan, Keshava Maharaj, and to our Rupanur Guru Varga, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So again, this great festival, many festivals in this month, we're celebrating and we'll be celebrating. So today we're serving the appearance day, the Gesa Puja of our Param Gurudev, Sri Bhakti Prajnan, Keshava Maharaj. Anyone who has relationship with Srila Gurudev, then automatically they have this relationship with Param Gurudev. He's our grandfather, spiritual master. And so we can understand that just as Srila Gurudev, they worship, will be very happy. And so then all his children, all his good relationship with him, also very happy. And therefore we're having this festival. And those who don't have relationship, then by having this festival, then this relationship will be established. Param Gurudev may not be here, physically present. By having festivals like this, then truly his appearance can come in the hearts of those who have he has not have appreciated or have not seen him. So therefore, we're very lucky to have heard from the Vaishnavas, and we're anxious to hear from Vaishnavas who have this relationship. And we pray that, we also want to have that relation. Param Gurudev can also appear in our heart. So, just like our Bhagavat Gurus, our Bhagavat Parampara, they are eternal associates of Mahaprabhu and Sri Radha and Krishna. Just like our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is an eternal associate of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, an eternal parikar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also in Krishna Lila, he is there as Ayan Mani Manjari. Same way, our Param Gurudev is an eternal associate of Prabhupada. As associate in Mahaprabhu Lila, he's there as Vinod Brahmachari, or we know very well, very famous Kriti Ratna, Acharya Singha, this Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. He's known so many names. But in Krishna Lila, then by mercy of those who have relationship, and those who know, who are in this family, then they have mercifully revealed that he is Vinod Manjari. And therefore he has revealed his Ishtadev. Along with his appearance, like today we're observing his appearance day. Then we are celebrating that, he has appeared with all these gifts. For one, Srila Gurudev is there. That is his gift. Not just Srila Gurudev, the whole Bhakti Vedanta army that's now preaching very vigorously in this world. Starting with Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, his very dear God brother. This whole army of Bhaktivedanta is establishing this Rupanuga Dhara. This is his very great gift for us. Not just that, but he revealed his Ishtadev. Who are they? Radha Vinod Bihari. And those who have part of this family, then they can appreciate how special our Param Gurudev is. Not all the time, these services to Radha and Krishna, especially in that very deep exchanges of love described like in the discussions of Rai Ramananda and Mahaprabhu, Rai Ramananda Samvad. Rai Ramananda has explained, like Mahaprabhu asking what's the goal of life. And so Rai Ramananda has given with all evidences the different conceptions of what is goal, starting from Varnashram, going on and on, ultimately going to prem, and ultimately describing Radha prem. But then more and more Mahaprabhu asking, then he explained the highest exchange of love is called Prem Vilas Vivarta. After that, Mahaprabhu covered his mouth and said, okay, that's enough. Like, no one else could understand anyway, but that is the highest. So to be serving in that exchanges of love, that is not available to anyone. Only those are very close associates, especially the Manjaris. Param Gurudev, he's showing to us, he is in that mood where of Radha and Krishna, where there's so much absorbing love with each other that there is there is this they forget their own identity and they think that they are the other, like Radha is Ramani, he becomes the Raman, and Krishna is the Raman, he becomes the Ramani, or like he becomes Radha Vinod Bihari. Krishna complexion is dark, but now absorbed in this Prem Vilas Vivarta, he is experiencing moods of Radha. Now his complexion changes into golden, like Shrimati Radharani. So it's not just like in the mood of separation, like Radha in Man, that he's absorbed in this mood of separation and he gets this complexion. But especially in the time of meeting, and they experiences this great love with each other, and he becomes Radha Vinod Bihari. And so who's serving that? Our Param Gurudev. He has revealed to this world, and now he's giving us a chance to enter into this in this department, serving there under his guidance. So this is one of the extraordinary, super transcendental gift. Very mercifully he is given to this world. When Param Gurudev established finally his society, he called the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Then he established this on this day, this Akshay Tritiya, and that is the day when everyone celebrates Chandan Yatra. And so really on that day, all the deities in the world become Radha Vinod Bihari. If you look in Vrindavan on this day, now Krishna covered in Chandan, no more black, Radha Vinod Bihari. So on this day, Param Gurudev showing, this is my Ishtadev. All the temples in the world have a glimpse of service to that. And he's giving this service to everyone. So we know so many glories of Param Gurudev. But it's like to be discussing is like diving into this ocean. But one thing we can highlight is, of course, how he's serving his Gurudev. And he's showing so many examples. Our Gurudev will always tell Guru Nishta, backbone of Bhakti. And you can see in this whole life in Param Gurudev. We just heard how Param Gurudev gave his life. And this is really the meaning of sannyas. One is getting all the ceremony and the vesh, but we just heard just now that when Prabhupada took he manifested his sannyas lila, and he started this Navadvip Parikrama, the very first Navadvip Parikrama. Then there was this, and that was the time he had not initiated any sannyasis yet. So it was at this time that this problem came. They tried to ambush the Parikrama party. But actually it turned out to be a very positive thing, because after that, then the more famous the Gaudiya Math became. It's all published in all newspapers, and then all these people were punished. And so in the next year, then police were there, and already it's anticipated, like, oh, they should be protected, like that. But on that day, Param Gurudev really got his, like, an external like manifestation that he was the first sannyasi of Prabhupada. Prabhupada could also, when Param Gurudev asked for his plot, Prabhupada can also say, no need. Prabhupada can protect himself. But Prabhupada gave to show, yes, I acknowledge you are my property, and this is the disciple and guru relationship. For the disciple, my guru is my only wealth. And I am the property of my Gurudev, like this. So we can see in Param Gurudev's life, this is his whole mood. And this is like a teaching for all of us. Guru has so many assets, material assets, buildings, temples, and like all, even books. But what is the real legacy of Guru? That disciple who has given his whole life. I am the property of Guru. He is the real legacy. Because these material assets can be broken. Temples can be broken, and many so-called disciples can fight over this property. But the real legacy of the Guru is the real follower. And he is the one that is to be seen and understood, and really be seen as the real wealth. The real person, or the real entity to be protected. And so, Param Gurudev, he's there. When all the things stopped, the book publishing, the parikramas, the preaching, then it continued. Why? Because Param Gurudev was there. And of course, not just him. It's not just Param Gurudev who is the, like the jewels of Prabhupada, like the wealth of Prabhupada. The Param Gurudev is one of the prominent. He is Kriti Ratna. Prabhupada called him Kriti Ratna. His actions are like jewels. They'll remain very brilliant and very effulgent, very beautiful. So we can see all the things that Param Gurudev have done, they're always be remembered. Like how he established this Vrajapatan. Before it was a cemetery by the Muslims, but Param Gurudev arranged everything very in a very smart way with the help of his God brothers. And now this has become the headquarters of the Gaudiya Math. How they reclaimed, or actually they transferred the samadhi of Prabhupada's Srila Gurudev, that is Giri Maharaj. And this has been the desire of Prabhupada, that he will be there in Yogapi. So Param Gurudev able to transfer that. How he was able to reclaim the place of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Godrum. So many things Param Gurudev has done, and this is always remembered in golden letters, in glorious memory, how Param Gurudev served our Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we've heard how Param Gurudev is fearless, and Gurudev has explained. So he's fearless because, and it's been circulating in the internet now by mercy of like many disciples of Srila Gurudev, that specific lecture of Srila Gurudev directly telling that, oh, Param Gurudev would many times tell this with tears in his eyes. They said, oh, our preaching have any obstacles, and we remain fearless. Why? Because of the blessing of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. We take note, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is the Param Gurudev of Param Gurudev. He is like his grandfather. When he was doing this bhajan inside the latrine. He doesn't want to see any of these materialistic people. So he's hiding in the latrine. Many devotees would ask, "Oh, Babaji Maharaj, please don't stay there. It's very dirty there. We will give you a bhajan kutir." And he's not coming out. So, what we know, we already heard also, that Prabhupada, he sent Param Gurudev and his other disciples. And actually, at that time, that was the time Param Gurudev, Prabhupada started accepting disciples. So, there, when he sent them, and they introduced themselves, "We are disciples, followers of Varshavanavi Devi Daitadas." That's the name Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj gave to Prabhupada. So when they get introduced, immediately they opened. We can understand, oh, he's very happy. Soon the generation now will continue. Oh, now my disciple has now begun his family, like as we've heard, sannyas mean making new family. So here, immediately he opened. This is the affection of the grandfather. Sometimes the grandfather is even more affectionate than the father. So, like Param Gurudev, we can remind him, oh, just like your Param Gurudev, so affectionate to you, and giving him blessings. And it is actually because of these blessings that now this whole preaching from that line of Param Gurudev is very powerful. And we can see from the preaching of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he is the first sannyasi disciple of Param Gurudev. He is the general of that army, the Bhaktivedantas. So even before that, we know how Param Gurudev very strongly preaching. It is all from Keshava Babaji Maharaj. And that's directly from Param Gurudev telling. So Srila Gurudev would tell this. And Param Gurudev would be crying, remembering this. So here then we can appreciate that. And we can pray actually to Param Gurudev on this day. Just like you, Param Gurudev, very kind and protecting you and giving all these blessings. We also pray on this day that you'll shower us all your blessings, that we become truly qualified disciple of your son. We can become a truly bona fide member of this family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Your Guru Nishta, all these modes of service will be imbibed in our hearts. And that effulgence of your personality as Kriti Ratna will also shine in all our activities, being part of this family. So today we are remembering this great personality that it also, if you can think about this, he has, by him, now our whole sampradaya is receiving Guru Mantra. Before when Prabhupada giving Diksha, he was not giving Guru Mantra. It's because of Param Gurudev, who was actually, he asked, do I have to take mantra from another person? When we say Diksha, that is when Guru, really Diksha is the time when Sambandha Gyan and all reactions of your sinful activities, Sambandha Gyan is bestowed, and all these reactions of sinful activities are removed. All anarthas are removed. So by Diksha, one is being welcomed into the family, into the spiritual family. Gurudev would always say this is not a one-day thing. It can be a lifetime endeavor. So, but it begins with Guru giving mantra. So he's giving all, at that time they gave, Prabhupada gave Gaur mantra, Gaur Gayatri, Krishna mantra, Krishna Gayatri, that is, the Brahma Gayatri. But he was not giving Guru mantra. So Param Gurudev is an eternal associate of Prabhupada. So he's in this pastime that he wanted to show us that this Diksha really is incomplete without Guru mantra. Otherwise, what is the anchor point of all this relationship? You cannot have relationship with Mahaprabhu or with Radha Krishna without having the relationship with Guru, who's your link to these personalities. So, therefore, he asked Prabhupada, and from that time, Prabhupada is given Guru Mantra, and now is continuing this process. So, our Param Gurudev, he is our eternal well-wisher, and on this day of his appearance day, we pray that truly he can also come in our heart and bestow all these gifts and very quickly make us qualified to become a member of this family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vancha Kalpatarunis Chakapasi.
Thank you.